Made here, and today I'd like to talk about the Ilios Lighthouse match between Dallas Fuel and Seoul Dynasty. Obviously, we're going to be talking about a number of things. I'm going to be analysing the map, talking about what they do, what I think they do, what they do. Some interesting things I saw in the adaptation from Seoul Dynasty to Dallas Fuel's comp. So, first thing we should do is probably talk about both comps for both teams. So, this is kind of like a no-brainer here. They're running backlineless dive. They're going to be looking to combo these two. Obviously, Raiji Hong has an escape route inflator, so they're able to run Ilios here, which really doesn't synergize so well with the Mercy. So, these four characters, these four here, are all going to be trying to dive the enemy sides in conjunction with these two who will be playing as the other combo there. On the other hand, Dallas Fuel are running something a little bit more different and unorthodox here, but that's Dallas Fuel. So, Chips Hagen and Taimu are going to be running as a combo here, and what Dallas Fuel are going to be doing is going to be trying to play a counter dive situation here with these four heroes who are going to be playing in the sidelines of the Widow Mercy combo, peel for the Widow Mercy combo, and hopefully allow these two the room to get picks. So let's start this up and have a look at this. Alright, so let's talk about what Theta and Raiji Hong are doing here. So this is a really good position. This high ground here is really good for those two to sit before they look to dive. So, obviously, it's on the line of sight of Taimu, who you can't see there. They're going to have the opportunity for Raiji Hong to heal anyone here from that safe position if they take damage or poke before they dive. And as well as that, Flesser and Raiji Hong have a number of options for where they can go afterwards. Obviously, they can push up here, but if they want to, they can also push into yard. So that's a really good staging area for both of them there. Okay, so this is put it forward a second too. This is important for XQC here, because it's actually a really good position for XQC to take, considering that Seoul Dynasty do not want to be taking this position because they're running these two characters. They want to be taking fights and positioning where they can enable both of those characters, and unfortunately, Mini Healthback is one of those areas. So this doorway here is really good for XQC here, because it allows them a number of dive options farther forward, so he can push their side, he can go to point, or he can return and dive back to his team to kind of dive anything there. He isn't taking any poke here, so that's important to note. Alright, so this is something interesting I found. I don't understand why XQC is going for this double barrel here. He's still 430 health. He has sort of backup options, and he also has a diva behind him, but you can't see it, so I don't get why he's used that bubble so early, because it also means that if Miro tries to jump his backline, he doesn't have his own bubble to block off Miro and more easily kill him. So I don't know if I agree with that decision by XGT to put his bubble down there. So take poke. Alright. This is important to note, so here we can see Seoul Dynasty kind of like falling into the bait of Dallas Fuel here. Obviously, Miro's taking a lot of poke damage as he's pushing. He's already getting towards half health there. But what Taimu can do from this position, as well as Chips Hagen, is they can both use grapple or just fall back into main and sort of, escape Miro. So Miro's not actually going to be able to get a very easy kill onto those. And instead now, he's going to be counter dive for both Mickey and XCC. He should be able to get a kill on him pretty easily there. Alright, that's pretty easy there. We can see, obviously, backed up, gotten the kill onto Miro there. So, obviously, Dallas Fuel have been playing their win condition, and Seoul Dynasty have been playing into it for them. Alright, so this is kind of good idea by Flatter. So, obviously, Taimu's going to have vision up here, probably down into main. He's going to be sitting a corner, or like that main corner area, looking at points. So he's obviously dropped to get out of range. Sorry for my terrible error. He's dropped behind cover there, so he can't be killed by Taimu. At this point in time, I think it's important to sort of note both what the team's win conditions here. For Dallas Fuel, they want to be playing off their Widow, so Taimu is located here. They're already a pickup. Miro, having died on point, just over here. So what does Dallas Fuel need to do to win? Dallas Fuel want to be taking fights in the sight lines of their Widow. So there, maybe kind of there, kind of a bit there. They're already a pickup here, so it's kind of going good for them. On the other hand, Seoul Dynasty have worked out what Dallas Fuel are trying to do, and they've concocted a response. They're going to be trying to play both the win condition and the worst positioning Dallas Fuel can try and fight into. Because obviously Point has not very good sightlines for the Widow. So that makes what Dallas Fuel's doing here pretty weak. Alright, let's talk about what we see next. So obviously, Seoul Dynasty have pushed back to Point, looking to res Miro, kind of over here. Dallas Fuel have chased up this way. Another important thing is since Mickey's low, Chips Hayden has pushed up to heal with him, leaving Taimu by himself, leaving Taimu without sort of that pocket healing and sort of, pocket damage boost that he needs. It's also important to note that Miro has died in the location that's actually quite advantageous for Seoul Dynasty. So he's died on the point, so the sightlines for Taimu there aren't that good. Obviously, Seoul Dynasty are playing on point there, looking to get the res, etc., etc. So, next thing we can see is, obviously, Ray Jihong has been killed for his efforts, but he's got a Miro up. So this is kind of actually okay here, because Miro's actually pretty good at helping Seoul control the point there. Obviously, Rai Jihong dying, it's bad, but Miro has a bubble. He can split people off. He's a tank, so it's alright there. Another thing to note is XQC has actually pushed up onto the point to help secure that kill. So if X pushed down here or something, obviously got into frag along with XQC, but XQC is now overextended. So let's see what happens with XQC. He died, so that's not amazing for XQC here. So they've traded effectively the Mercy for the Winston, and Seoul Dynasty still have complete control of the point. Here at the backline, we can see Fire has killed Taimu without Chips Agent being there at all, so that's good for Flitter, because Chips Agent had to push up this way to support Mickey, because he's taken damage. It's important to note here, at this point, obviously, Chips Agent's about to die, and XQC has responded, so there's effectively only really 2 people here from Dallas Fuel who can contest the point versus 4 people, 3 people really, because Reggie Hong's still a respawner, but 3 people there from Seoul Dynasty who contest the point, so this isn't going really that well for Dallas Fuel. At this point in time, it's probably easy to say that Dallas Fuel have lost this point and should probably back off. Probably a wasted bomb there. 1, he doesn't get it onto the Diva, and 2, he's probably not going to win that fight, so it might be something good to open up the next fight for him. Just Ableton dies again, or dies. Mickey's dead, so this is a complete win for Seoul. They're taking the point here. They've won, etc., etc. So this is a really good position for Flitter. So he's not playing that main sight line. He has options in terms of where he can go. He can go over the roof, around here through this gap. He can also push on to point if So, I mean, if Dallas Fuel do go to point there, so you've got a bunch of options there. Looking at the positions for the rest of his team, obviously Miro can jump here, he can jump to point, he can jump there, and Zumba's able to contest, either choke, go to point, or play high ground as well. So that's pretty alright positioning for both the tanks here. Munchkin can control whatever he wants, and two supports to play in the back line here. Alright, so this is an important pincer from Seoul Dynasty here. Obviously, Fleta has gone over to the top there. He's tried to get frags onto the back line, so Chips Hagen, Harry Hook, and Taimu. Taimu's almost dead here. And at the same time, the Seoul tanks are in a position to dive into the enemy, provide pressure, provide a distraction for Fleta here. Something I want to talk about is Fleta doesn't actually have the Mercy with him, so I think that's actually deliberate. I don't think they want to risk their Mercy playing such a risky maneuver with Fleta when obviously they can't get really reliable heal from Zonda there. Obviously, we get trades back in point, and Dallas Fuel go to point here. So Toby's almost got beat here, so let's go see what he does, because this is pretty winnable for them. Alright. So, this is where it goes bad for Toby. So let's go ahead half a second here and see who's dropped a bit off. And so, he's gone 1, 2, 3. Raiji Hong is low. Mirror will be low soon. And Zomba also doesn't have ult. So that's 3 people on this team who've been cut off from beat just because Harry Hook here booped him that way. That's pretty good by Harry Hook. So Harry Hook's actually created a ton of value with just a single right click for his team. Alright, so let's see what happens here. XQC, so there's a number of things wrong here with what XQC done. So XQC knows that his team has dropped the beat, and he also knows that Miro has bubble up. So what XQC does is, since he knows Harry Hook is that side of the point there, he, for some reason, jumps aggressively over here, gets bubbled off by Miro, and as a result doesn't get dropped the beat and dies instantly. So just a little misplay there from XQC. Toby plays the door, gets booped off by Harry Hook, so probably not the most amazing position, but it's kind of like a micro mistake there. And obviously he's gonna die now. I'm just gonna hit this. So, Seoul getting no value out of Zomba's ult there beyond a couple of seconds here. Probably not the best use, but I mean, Diva Bomb's kind of hard to use, so it's whatever. So, what can we take from this fight? So, basically, this entire fight is won by one person on Dallas Fuel, and that's Harry Hook. So, Harry Hook's use of beat on pushing, not use of beat, use of right click boop onto Toby, pushing him back here, has meant that Toby hasn't got, the beat down onto a couple of people. So, Flitter, Mahjong, and I think Miro also, all three don't get the beat there. So they're easy to be killed by the kind of beat from Harry Hook here. So that's really good work by Harry Hook. I think it's also important to talk about what's happening here with Dallas Fuel. So Dallas Fuel know they're being countered. Seoul Dynasty have worked out what they're doing to take fights against Dallas Fuel. So Seoul Dynasty don't want to be playing into these sidelines from Widow. So they've either got control space and deny it to the Dallas Fuel, or they want to be confining point here, which is also the win condition. So this isn't really that good for Dallas Fuel. So Dallas Fuel probably need to be switching time more off here. So what happens here in the next fight, because it's obvious he's come up Widow, and he's not swapping. I think it's important to understand what Munchkin does once he's taken this high ground, and what he can do. So obviously Munchkin pushes up here, and suddenly he has a few options and flank positions available for him. So, since Taimu from Dallas is sitting back here, he can actually push him along this way, but he can also do a few other things. He can drop down to the point, contest point, or if Seoul want to, and dive something here in courtyard, he can push down from here. So there's a lot of things he can do, but it's also important because Dallas don't actually have anyone who can really contest them. Both Dallas's tanks are both in a position where if they try, both the tanks there, if they try to dive him or pressure him up top here, he has both rewind, and two, it creates an opening for both of Seoul's tanks to enter, counter dive, or dive the back line of Dallas. I think it's important to note the mistake that Dallas Fuel have made in allowing Munchkin here free reign to blink across to the top area above point. So what we can see from here is that both XQC and Mickey are holding the low ground here, which means that they weren't able to contest or pressure Munchkin as he goes through that top room there. So as a result of that, Munchkin's had free reign to move across the point. Obviously they could have set up there. I don't think there's a lot of poke they could have taken. And it would have sort of given Munchkin a lot less room to move there. So let's take a look at Effect next. So something important to notice, Effect actually really can't contest Munchkin. So that's unfortunate. So he's going to push Fitzwinston. So this is important here. So Effect's done a bit of a mistake here. So he's wasted 2 blinks, and he's also used his rewind. So he doesn't have his rewind there, and he doesn't have his movement abilities. So for the next 12 or so seconds, any kind of fight he takes has a much greater risk. And his ability to peel for his backline is much reduced. So this is something that Seoul Dynasty can take advantage of here. I think it's important to talk about how Seoul are going to re-push into the backline of Dallas Fuel over here. So Taimu on Widow and Chip Sajan on the Mercy. So it's actually quite interesting. So as we noted before, Munchkin, if the Seoul on re-push, is going to be able to push up from here and contest for the high ground. But it's also really, really smart how Dallas have managed to position themselves to dive without actually being in this range of Taimu. So, Seoul have both the tanks over here, as well as their Farah and Mercy. So what they're going to do is that Farah and Mercy are going to push over the top, and both the tanks are going to push through here before being able to jump up here and contest Taimu. So this is pretty good for them. They're not taking any of this. They're not actually in the sight range of Taimu. So over here, up here. The Pharaoh also has the ability to spam down this way and force the tanks from Dallas Fuel off, or to use abilities, or back out, or take damage, or anything like that. So, Effect having used his abilities has put himself in a position where he's made it easier for Seoul Dynasty to walk out. So Zumba's walked out there. I'm going to use a different colour. Zumba's walked out here. Flater, Richie Hong can go over the top. Myra can go across as well. So he's created a position where he's kind of fucked up there, and it's all going to be able to push that back line. So let's look at what happens here. He's also used his pulse bomb there, so he's completely fucked up. It's important to note that both teams here, so Raiji Hong and Chipsagen, they've both used Mercy ults when Flatter pushes the back line to kill Taimu. And Flatter, having used his ultimate, has killed Taimu, but it's probably not going to matter because Mercy exists and can res people. Important to note here that Chipsagen has gotten his first kill on Flatter, and once again, kills don't matter. Flatter kill probably doesn't matter either because Raiji Hong also has the power to bring people back from the grave. Get the res back on Flatter. Alright, so it's important to note what's happened here. Having gotten the Mercy trade out, tempted to get a kill on Taimu, Seoul have decided that their best bet is once again to go to point and fight from there. So they've backed up pretty convincingly, actually, taking a lot less damage than Dallas Fuel have not going to point here. So let's see what they did here, because once again, they're not playing into Taimu's win condition. They're playing the points. Alright, so this is interesting to note. XQC has seen Zumba use his Diva boost, and having seen that, he's decided to walk into this doorway and get boosted off the cliff, which kind of make it hard for friend Chipsagen to raise him. So that's kind of a mini throw there by XQC. You can see the kills here going the way of Seoul. 2 down. Time is kind of useless outside there. Mickey's used his Diva Bomb, but it really doesn't mean much because he's got no kills there. So, good on him, but, shit out of luck. So, that's kind of cool here. So, even in this moment, Mickey and Defect both able to synergize the push onto a player out here in Courtyard. So that's good synergy there. And focus fire, even at the worst of times. Another important to note is Miro has decided that he doesn't want Dallas Fuel able to get back to points. He's actually used his Primal Wage and he's pushed up to Drake there to obviously block him out. So that's really good by Miro there. Amusingly, Taimu finally gets the kill on Flatter after all this time. That's not what I want. Alright, so what can we take from this? Seoul Dynasty, despite on the face of it not having a comp that might slightly be countered by Taimu there, managed to understand what Dallas Fuel are doing, and they have a counter strategy. So, kind of strategy to play against this Widow with this comp, obviously, not a Sombra, fairer, but there we go, is to go to point. And the mistake from Dallas Fuel, I think the major mistake is not realizing that Seoul Dynasty have a counter for their competition, their comp, and continuing to run Taimu on a class where he's not getting value.